I'm going to talk to you about the zero route that's part of the five wide attack, and we're going to start with the boundary. And what you see here is the ball's in the left hash. We have a three people receiver to the field, two into the boundary. So we have a 3-by-2 formation. Let's start with the X. On the zero route, the X is going to run a takeoff route. Now a takeoff route for us is the same as running a fade route, only you're going to run that inside the defender. So when we hear takeoff, that means that our receiver, whichever one it is going to push to the inside shoulder of the guy that's on him and then run straight up the field, run a go route. His responsibility is to get his body between the defender and the quarterback so the quarterback can throw it to him. So he has an inside takeoff. The A receiver, in this case we usually play our running back here into the boundary in the slot, he runs a speed out. So he runs an out. Okay? Now what we're trying to take advantage of, we're trying to take advantage of this will linebacker. We know that he has run and pass responsibilities. And that if the closer he is to this 5 technique, or the closer he is to the box, the more he's in his run responsibility. We also know by alignment that if he's walked out, that he's more in his pass responsibility. So we're going to try to take advantage of which one it is that he's playing and throw the ball off of him. Let's put him now right in the middle and say that he's trying to play both of them evenly. Okay? We know what his responsibility is. He's responsible for the flat, and he's reading 2 to 1. So when the ball's snapped and he sees an out route, he should start to run out there with that guy. Because of his alignment, if he's not out on that A back, we're going to be able to let the quarterback take a quick 3 drop, hit his back foot, don't hitch, and throw that ball on time and beat that will receiver. That's part of the timing of the 5 wide attack. Because of his pre-snap alignment tells us that he's a little too far inside to cover that A route, the out route by the A back if he runs that. In the second scenario, if he moves farther out, and now we've been throwing that out route, and he moves out to cover that. So when the ball's snapped, he's closer to that out route. What he's done is he's just left a lane for us to throw the ball to the X receiver on the takeoff route. So in essence, he's responsible for this underneath window that we're going to look through. And if he runs out of that window to cover the out route, we will throw the ball to the takeoff route. That's why it's so important that the X gets inside that corner. Okay? We know that the corner is going to back out to 7 yards and start heading to his deep third. The route of the X receiver should keep him in that deep third. So we know if we can get Will one-on-one and we can get the corner on one-on-one. We like to throw this into kind of routes into the boundary, particularly when it's 2-on-2. So it's 2-on-2 into the boundary, take off by the X, out route by the A. Quarterback simply looks pre-snap read at the will, depending on where he's aligned, and he has an idea of where the throw may be. That's the boundary read in the zero route. By the number 2 receiver or the Z receiver, he'll run a slant. The B back will run a swing route, what we call a swing route. And the W receiver runs a post route. What we're trying to do right now is we're trying to take advantage of this strong safety. And we feel like what happens when he's playing inside this slot receiver and he runs a vertical stem, that it kind of settles him. He settles right where he is. Most of the time you'll see them start to drift back a little bit and kind of open up space because they're not quite sure if he's going to run by him or where his first break's going to be. So he starts to settle a little bit. While he's settling, what we're doing with this B route, we're telling him to take it 1 yard depth and sprint to get outside the numbers as fast as you possibly can. Because while he's settling, we would like to outflank him. We would like to get our B back outside. Okay? So now the strong safety has a choice, has a decision to make. We know that by alignment of a cover 3 defense that he has the flat and the out. So he technically needs to be able to guard this B back. But the stem of the slant holds him ever so slightly, because the natural inclination is for them to want to come down and help on that slant, because that's the first slant window. Okay? So the quarterback simply is going to look through the first slant window. And if this strong safety is still in that window, then we know that he is late to get to the swing route because he hesitated. That back sprinting will outflank him. So strong safety stays in that window, he settles or he comes down to play the first window of the slant, he's going to throw it to the swing route immediately. All right? The second possibility for this strong safety is that by scouting us, he would look from 2 to 3 and take a quick glance at 3, or some people even try to get their read off of number 3. And he sees B run the swing route, so he immediately runs to his flat area of responsibility to cover him. Usually when that happens, the Sam linebacker is then responsible for playing that slant route by the Z. You have a decision to make. The spacing here is a long way for that Sam linebacker to go. So a lot of times in this rotation, strong safety leaves, we can still throw it in that first window. However, if they're pretty good and they rotate quickly and he's kind of hugging the B or maybe playing head up and he can get to that first window to cover the slant, then the quarterback simply waits to the second window. These are all not conscious decisions, they're just reaction decisions by the quarterback. Look in the window, if it is open, throw it. If it is closed, you know where the next throw is going to be in the structure of the patterns. Okay? Sometimes this Sam linebacker will hesitate, sit in the second window, and the quarterback won't feel like he can stick it in there because he may lead him into the Sam linebacker. But what he has now is he's got a nice clear window view of the post route. So if the strong safety rotates out to the swing route and the Sam linebacker sits in the second window, his vision will take him right to that post route and he can throw that post route. Alright? So he hasn't had to do anything different except start with his initial read, which is to look through the window to the slant route first, and that'll tell him what to do. The other thing that's happening here is the post route is designed to hold 2 people. Obviously this corner is playing deep third, so he's going to see number 1 stay in his post area and he'll help. And then the other thing we'd like to do is we'd like to get this free safety as he backpedals to start working his way over toward the post also. What happens then is we hit this slant route, say we hit this slant right here, and he turns and can take that up the field. So we're trying to keep the free safety from coming down on the slant route. And that's what that post route should do. One of the concepts of 5 wide is we'd always like to have 1 receiver occupying 2 defenders. and then that allows us to be 2-on-2 or even 3-on-3 wherever we're going to throw. Okay? So in this particular case, we'd like to have that post route, keep the free safety deep, and not let him break down on the slant route. Because some people will even take him, run him to the first window, and then drop the safety down and let him play the second window slant route. Okay? So that's the zero route. That's the field read. 1 is the slant read. 2 is the swing. And 3 is the post.